First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news right now on this Friday afternoon that could affect a lot of you who work and live in downtown Cleveland. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Duffy. Nicole is off this afternoon. This is brutal news for the city of Cleveland. Disappointing doesn't cover it. The downtown Heinen's is closing. Aria Janelle live downtown. And Aria, this stunned many of us right here in the newsroom. How are people you talk to taking this news?
Well, Brian, I kind of felt like the Grim Reaper a little bit today. A lot of people didn't know about the news about Heinen's until they came up to me wondering why we were out here, and just complete devastation on their faces as they walked into Heinen's earlier on their lunch breaks. Concerned about the future of downtown and wondering where they're going to get their groceries at now, some of them threatening to move to the suburbs. According to Heinen's, they're closing because they don't think they can sustain a business in this area. Mayor Justin Bibb releasing a statement saying the city has given the business more than $250,000 in incentives to operate here on East 9th. I reached out to the city to see if there are any repercussions for taking that money now. They said they're looking into that and they'll get back to me. As for what's next, Downtown Cleveland Inc. says they're already working to find a grocery store replacement. 19 News sat down with commercial realtor Terry Coyne prior to this announcement about the future of downtown.
I love the idea of a Target. I'm all for it. I think
it's not going to happen.
No, I would be more worried that Heinen's leaves.
Yeah, I'm right.
I mean, Geiger's is gone. Heinen's, I'm certain, loses money. Yeah. I think that's their version of corporate philanthropy, and we're lucky that that family cares so much about Cleveland that they're willing to put it there. But with such low foot traffic, maybe they make up for it on game days.
Right.
But I would be more worried about losing than gaining, especially at that hard corner right there.
Again, that interview was shot on Monday before the announcement was made. Heinen says for the people that work here, they will be transferred to other stores. As for the people that live in this area, I mean, it's just a complete loss, a devastating loss for the downtown Cleveland area. Here in downtown Cleveland, I'm Aria Janelle, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast, certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, temperature's a little cooler than we would like them, but the heat will return. Erica Page spending the day on Put-in-Bay. She's got a look at our forecast. Hey, Erica.
Hey, Brian. I mean, I'm personally not going to complain if it's going to be a little bit cooler outside today, especially considering we're exploring all the things that Put-in-Bay has to offer. We are out at the boardwalk, actually. So when you get off one of the ferries or the Jet Express, whatever kind of mode of transportation you get in onto the island, this is probably one of the big signs that you're going to see. And it certainly is a bustling area. There are lots of restaurants, lots of things that folks can do. And of course, when you add in Pirate Fest, it's going to be a really, really busy area, I think, as we head into the rest of this weekend. Let's talk about where your temperatures are sitting, though, right now, because a lot of us are getting ready to begin the weekend. Right now, a lot of us are sitting upper 60s to about low to mid 70s. So, again, it is a little bit cooler than average for this time of the year. Specifically, if you are coming out to the islands, temperatures have been kind of in that low to mid 70 degree range. We've seen a lot of cloud cover coming through the area over the last several hours. And honestly, it's a welcome feeling because when the sun comes out, you're going to really start to sweat because you're getting just a little bit more of that humidity starting to build in as well. We've got some showers down to the southwest of here, so do keep that in mind for any evening plans that you may have. That is going to be a possibility, not just up here at the islands, but also if you're just going to be out and about all across the area as we kind of get into the rest of this evening. So hour by hour forecast, yeah, we're going to keep some rain chances around. It is not going to be a wash, I don't think, for a lot of folks, but it is going to be kind of one of those evenings where you may have to dodge a few sprinkles here and there. Overall, temperatures going to stay comfortable as we head into tonight. That little bit of humidity that we have, that's going to hold us basically into the 60s as we head into the overnight tonight. And again, a few showers will stick with us over the next few hours. I do think we could have a little bit of rain still on radar by the time a lot of us are waking up. Headed into early tomorrow morning, do I think it's going to be a wash for your early Saturday? Likely not, but I do think we are going to have just a couple of those showers around to begin the weekend. How about the rest of it? We'll talk about it coming up in your full forecast.
Breaking news right now. A terrifying scene in Twinsburg Township. A home explodes on a quiet street, leveling 3 houses, damaging dozens more. Colton Molesky kicks off our team coverage now with new information about what happened in that neighborhood. Colton.
Brian, we've been out here all day on Hiram Lane, and it has been busy with activity. Take a look behind me. There have been crews from the gas company, fire officials out here all day continuing that investigation. Just about 15-20 minutes ago, they brought a new batch of lumber out here as well. So many homes need windows, doors covered because they've been totally blown out. Just had a new batch of lumber covered to continue that task. And through all of this, people have been grabbing possessions that they can carry, things like clothes, pictures, trying to get things out of this neighborhood.
We were told a story of a gentleman that got blown out of his chair, and he got up and walked outside, and he walked down the street while we were evacuating.
3 homes destroyed, some still smoldering, debris scattered across several blocks, some even hanging from trees. That's all that's left from a massive explosion that rocked a quiet Twinsburg Township neighborhood.
There was no notice about that, so it just needed to find an ignition source and have the oxygen level to be just perfect, and away it went.
Twinsburg Fire Chief Earl Wilson says the investigation into what happened will take time. A gas leak was reported on Thursday afternoon. Just moments after Enbridge gas crews got to the scene, the explosion tore through Hiram Lane and the streets around it. 2 people taken to the hospital.
Minor injuries considering the amount of damage that you see here.
Wilson says in addition to the 3 homes reduced to rubble, 36 others that span a 3-street radius have varying degrees of damage.
Our engine crew was sitting up the street waiting for orders. You know, they were going to come in, but they have the gas company here. They pulled in right where you were all standing, and they started fighting the fire right away.
One thing that is common among any disaster you're at is that there are people who are directly impacted, and that's what we're here for.
As officials try to figure out what happened, the Red Cross is working to help displaced families.
I spoke with people who lost literally their entire homes and everything inside. One day you're living life, and then the next day it's just all turned upside down.
Now, the fire department is asking people to stay away from this area. Apparently, there's reports of folks climbing fences or crawling through backyards to get a look at this destruction. The fire department is asking that you stay away from this area. And speaking of the fire department, coming up in our 5 o'clock newscast, we'll have more from the fire department on just how quickly this explosion happened. For right now in Twinsburg Township, Colton Molesky, 19 News.
Okay, Colton, thank you. And our team coverage continues in the neighborhood where dozens of homes were damaged. 19 News reporter Catherine Huntley spoke with people trying to clean up from the unbelievable destruction.
Neighbors are coming to terms with the sheer devastation and impact of this gas explosion. From last night to today, we're speaking with people about their firsthand experiences, what they saw, what they felt, and now what their damage is like.
It sounded almost like a semi-truck drove into the house.
Shocking scenes today in Twinsburg Township. A gas explosion leveled a family home, destroyed 2 others by fire, and damaged more than 30 in the area. Children, stuffed animals, and all parts of a home strewn across the cul-de-sac, even up in trees.
It's knocked everything off the walls. It's knocked things out of the cabinets. I mean, even enough to where it moved the tank on one of the back of the toilets.
The power of the shockwave knocking doors off hinges. Many homes have no windows. It's a miracle that no one was seriously injured or killed. Last night we met a man who lives 2 doors from the blast. He smelled gas and saw it spewing into the air.
I went to get my kids. I said, hey, come downstairs just in case I smell gas, something isn't right. And opened the door and you could really smell it. And I knew they were working just down the road from me, and you could tell they hit something.
Jay Ski was in his kitchen when the gas ignited.
I heard a huge, massive explosion, and everything in the house the windows were blowing out, and doors and stuff knocked off.
Look at the damage. His laundry room ceiling caved in, his windows all shattered. Neighbors then ran as fire erupted, spreading to homes next door.
We all kind of took off and came down to the bus stop here, and a bunch of us were just gathering, looking, making sure everybody was okay.
Today, neighbors grabbed what they could and left. Their homes unlivable, at least for the time being.
You can replace all these things, you can't replace people, and thank God, he was looking down.
The Red Cross is working to help the victims. The investigation continues now to figure out what went wrong and how they can prevent it from happening again. In Twinsburg Township, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
Major traffic alert getting into downtown starting Monday. The East 9th Street exit from 90 eastbound is closing. This will likely back up traffic during the morning commute, and even getting to the Guardians game will be messy. ODOT is going to put in a new ramp and a new support pier. They suggest taking Ontario, then turning right on Carnegie to East 9th. This exit will be closed through October. Well, an Uber pickup turns violent outside a nightclub in Canton. A woman says she was attacked by her rideshare driver. Only on 19, Noel Williams has the body cam of police responding to what was a chaotic scene.
Uber driver fought one of the girls that was getting in his car and split her face wide open.
This 911 call paints out what happened outside Wave Lounge in Canton in the early morning hours of June 12th.
Hey, is the Uber driver still on scene?
No, he sped off.
This investigative report states that Canton officers were called to Cleveland Avenue Northwest just after 6 a.m. for an assault.
Calm down, okay? Look, listen.
When they arrived, they found Amari Jordan in a rage with a laceration to her head and bleeding as a crowd tried to calm her down. The report from Canton Police says that Jordan, along with some family members, were getting an Uber ride home from the lounge. That's when the driver accused Jordan of stealing his phone, but it was eventually found. The driver and Jordan continued to argue, and the family decided to end the ride. The report goes on to say that the Uber driver got out the car in a, quote, fighting stance and assaulted Amari. Her mother says Amari grabbed a nearby chair in defense, but the driver took it from her, hit Amari with it, and then drove off. Now the big question we're waiting to get an answer to is, where is that Uber driver? 19 News, we're choosing not to show the face or share the name of the Uber driver until charges are filed, but police say they're still investigating and no arrests have been made. I did speak with Amari off camera. She tells me her family has reported the incident to Uber, and they are cooperating with police in hopes to get justice. In Canton, Noel Williams, 19 News.
Cleveland Police Department is hiring, and they're offering a signing bonus. There's a hiring event tomorrow and Sunday from 8 to 1 at City Hall. They're looking to fill positions with up to $5,000 signing bonuses. They're also hiring for other jobs like phone operators and a bilingual communications specialist. If you're interested in becoming an officer, you'll need to pass a background check and a physical fitness test. All right, this is always a lot of fun. The Tri-C Jazz Fest, back for its 47th year at Playhouse Square. Bigger than ever, artists from different genres will perform over the next few days outside on the square and inside the Historic Theater. That means free outdoor concerts all weekend. The events inside do require tickets. Time for your top four at 4. The county medical examiner is still trying to identify the body found in the flats this morning. Someone found it floating in the river behind the Alley Cat Oyster Bar just after 9 this morning. We're still waiting to learn more from our sources, and as soon as we get an update, look for our coverage on air and streaming on 19 News Plus. An Elyria man will be sentenced Tuesday on child sex abuse charges. A Lorain County jury found Elijah Capers guilty on all 14 counts. All the victims were under the age of 13. When Capers is sentenced, he could get life in prison. Emergency responders in Twinsburg asking the public to stay away from the neighborhood where that house exploded yesterday. Fire chief says a contractor hit a gas line. Not long after that, something, they don't know what yet, triggered an explosion. 3 homes were pretty much leveled, dozens more damaged. Hard to believe, but there were only 2 minor injuries. Well, some disappointing news here, to say the least. Heinen's is closing its downtown location at East 9th in Euclid. The final day of business, July 31st. So they announced this today, and they're closing in a month. We're told the workers will be offered jobs at other locations. The news not going over well with Mayor Justin Bibb, who said in a statement that the city has spent over $250,000 in incentives to keep Heinen's open. You can read his full statement on Cleveland19.com. Well, it's a story you know well, living in Northeast Ohio, the kidnapping and murder of 10-year-old Amy Mihaljevic. Her killer has never been found. 37 years later, Amy's dad and brother are still fighting, looking, searching for answers. Tonight, a never-before-told story about the family dog who helped search for Amy and whose fur actually became evidence in her murder case. Here's Nicole Versansky with part 3 of her special series.
You would think after 37 years that this would get easier. It doesn't get any easier, Nicole. The pain never goes away.
37 years after Amy Mihaljevic was kidnapped, her father and brother are tracing her last steps, walking from Bay Middle School to the shopping plaza about a block away where the 10-year-old was kidnapped. That day is still so vivid.
Well, it brings back a flood of memory.
Amy was in 5th grade, Jason in 7th. He got out of school about an hour after she did and noticed something wrong right away.
Well, the bike was back in the back there.
Amy's bike was hard to miss.
And her bike was distinctive because it was an old-style cruiser, sort of a higher bike. If I remember correctly, it was blue and white with Smurfs on it. Why is her bike still here? It was really, really out of character.
Jason pedaled the 2 miles to home, another red flag. No Amy.
Instead, I found Jake and an empty house.
Jake was the family dog, a rescue after Jason and Amy begged their mom for a pet. Jake loved everyone, but Amy was his favorite.
She had him trained like a horse.
Like the horses Amy rode.
I got a coffee table in the den with a gap in it. She had him so she'd clap her fingers or do something and he'd jump over her legs just like a horse would jump over.
By 5 o'clock, still no Amy. Mark was desperate. He grabbed the sheet off Amy's bed and held it up to Jake's nose, giving him her scent. Then drove to the last place she was seen, an ice cream store in Bay Plaza.
He wasn't a bloodhound. He knew Amy though. And we put him in the car. He said, we went down to the ice cream stand and we said, all right, Jake, go find Amy.
Jake sniffed around, passed a few stores, and stopped right in the middle of the shopping center. He didn't go any further.
That's exactly where that van would have been. Wasn't over here, wasn't over there by the pharmacy. It was halfway between here and the bowling alley. It's exactly what they said.
The last people to see Amy that day told police she left with a man near that very spot. The Jake story had never been made public until now.
How many people know about the Jake story? I've never heard about it.
Not many. I didn't make a big thing out of it.
But investigators zeroed in on that close bond between Amy and Jake and did something that would matter decades later.
I remember when the FBI or police at that point came, and they cut a swatch out of him about an inch. So he had a bald spot.
Smart thinking. They actually cut a hair sample.
As DNA testing advanced, Jake's fur matched a hair found on a curtain and blanket discovered about a football field away from Amy's body, leading investigators to believe she was wrapped in those items, another clue in the search for her killer. Just across the street where Amy was taken stands a plaque in her honor. When Mark and Jason visited, they noticed something left by a stranger.
We walked up and I noticed a stone and what I thought was just some loose leaf, and I was going to brush it off, and no, those were there intentional.
Yeah.
Somebody put them there.
Is that something?
A stranger who still thinks of Amy.
She was my baby girl. She was my baby girl.
And Jake, that good boy, has passed now, but Jason thinks of him in heaven with his Amy.
I should hope so. Doing as many horse jumps as she wants.
That was Nicole Versansky reporting. You can help authorities catch Amy's killer by signing up for the annual Amy Run in October. The race is free, but they are accepting donations and hope to raise $50,000. Now, that money will go towards critical DNA testing. You can find a link to register on our website at cleveland19.com. You can also sign up for the race in person at the Bay Days Festival running from July 1st through the 4th. Amy's father, Mark, and her brother, Jason, you just saw in Nicole's piece, will be there every day from 3 to 9 right by the Bay Village Police tent.